For many Americans, the most dreaded day of the year is April 15th, Tax Day. But for some of the nation's wealthiest people, the day they hoped would never come is tomorrow. That's the deadline for deciding whether to comply with an IRS mandate to disclose any holdings in offshore accounts or risk going to jail. As of tonight, 7,500 have come clean. Here's our chief investigative correspondent, Brian Ross.
It's already too late for the multimillionaire accountant who lives in this waterfront mansion in Boca Raton, Florida, and who had $7 million in a secret bank account in Switzerland. The IRS learned of Stephen Rubenstein's account before he could turn himself in, and now he faces 3 years in prison on tax charges, a case that serves as an implied threat from the IRS.
So it's either get in now or face prosecution later.
Rubenstein was the first of potentially thousands of U.S. citizens whose names are being turned over to American authorities by the giant Swiss bank UBS, which abandoned its policy of secrecy when faced with possible prosecution itself.
We have clients on that list, and they are quite angry and, in their view, betrayed by the bank in terms of having their information turned over.
2 weeks ago, UBS sent this final notice, setting off a kind of panic among its American customers. Your account with UBS, it said, will be secret from the IRS no more.
Was it a kind of panic that you saw?
Yes. Panic, crying, hysteria.
Now, with tomorrow's midnight deadline nearing, officials at the IRS say there is a surge of people, beyond just UBS customers, willing to pay stiff penalties to avoid prosecution.
Right now, we're seeing disclosures about banks, 240 banks in 70 countries on every continent except Antarctica.
Among those turning themselves in, the retired Wall Street broker who lives in this New York country estate, Bruce Craston. Craston freely admits he failed to report his Swiss account as required on yearly IRS tax forms. That is a sin, and we pay for our sins, Craston told ABC News.
The IRS acknowledges that because it only goes back 7 years to collect past due taxes, the cheats who have had secret accounts for 10 years or more will be able to turn themselves in, pay the penalties, and still come out well ahead. So for some, Charlie, crime will pay.
All right, Brian Ross, thanks very much, our chief investigative correspondent.